Do you want to start learning languages as a beginner but you don't know where to start? In this video, I'll share 5 tips on how to choose a beginner language app as well as some recommendations. If you're new here, hi! My name is Jamie, I'm a language coach, and my specialty is helping online language learners stick to language learning long term in a way that keeps them motivated, excited, and successful. If that sounds like you, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video all about online language learning every Wednesday. My first tip for how to choose a beginner language app is to make sure the language app is actually fit for beginners. This can be tricky because a lot of language apps advertise themselves as beginner friendly, but they might not actually be beginner friendly. Because the thing is that not every beginner language learner has the same lack of knowledge in a particular language. For example, if your native language is really closely related to the language that you're learning, or you're already familiar with a related language, or the alphabet is the same or the alphabet is different, those things can really drastically shift how difficult a language is for you. And so some beginner language learning apps, they will start from absolutely zero, and some will start with you assuming that you know certain things. It all just depends on the language app that you're looking at. For example, LingoPie is a really fun language learning app that you can use to watch TV shows and movies in your target language, and they advertise themselves as being fine for beginners as long as you slow it down. But depending on your own needs and your own skills, it might be really, really overwhelming for you. So just because they say, oh yeah, we're great for beginners, sure, use us, doesn't mean that it's going to be beginner enough for you. So instead of jumping headfirst into an app like LingoPie, expecting it to just kind of like fix itself and then being upset at yourself that it's too difficult for you and thinking that maybe you just can't learn a language, think about if it's easy enough for you. It sounds simple, it sounds like common sense, but it wasn't common sense to me for a lot of years, so suffice to say, it isn't common sense for a lot of language learners. The second tip for how to choose a beginner language app is to think about how fun you need it to be. So a lot of us studied languages in school, and we had various experiences doing it. But one thing that happens to a lot of language learners is that in school they had to learn languages with a textbook and with conjugation tables and with grammar and some really boring stuff. Boring being a subjective, concept. But a lot of us learn to learn languages with these textbooks, with these workbooks, with this just book variety kind of language learning. And then a lot of language learners hate that, but then they think that that's the only way to learn a language, and so they're just in this endless cycle. If you need something a little bit more entertaining, engaging, fun, there are tons of options out there for you. Trying something with pretty colors and fun noises and something with a more modern interface can make language learning a lot more interesting. And there are tons of beginner language apps that'll do just that. If you want it to be really, really fun and really, really easy, something like Mondly can be really fun for you and a really good start to building your language learning. Or if the fun sounds and the daily streak and things like that, if that's too much and you need something a little bit more serious, but you like that modern interface, something like Mango Languages could be a good option for you. But pay attention to whether or not you like something really fun and glittery and bright colors and lots of noises, or if you want something a little simpler like a textbook, and go between those two concepts because there are plenty of options wherever you are on that spectrum. The third thing to think about when you're choosing a beginner language app is pacing. Is the app that you're using too fast, too slow for you, or just like Goldilocks, just right? A lot of people don't think about if different apps are at a good speed for them. So some might be too slow, some might be too fast. If you find yourself getting really overwhelmed and frustrated and feeling like it's too difficult, find something that's a little bit slower. Like Rosetta Stone is really, really, really slow for me personally, but I know a lot of people can benefit from that. Or if the apps that you're trying are too slow, try something a little bit faster, something that's kind of throwing you into more immersion-y tactics, things like Fluent, which is similar to LingoPie. It's a video-based platform. You basically go straight into understanding videos and conversations from the get-go, as opposed to piecing words together little by little. There's nothing worse than either an app that's just too repetitive and really boring and just you lose your concentration because you're so unengaged, or something that's too hard, too fast, you're overwhelmed and you just get frustrated. It's really, really important to find that happy middle for yourself to understand how quickly or how slowly you need it to be. And that speed will change depending on your mood, where you are in your language learning, the language itself, all sorts of different factors, so make sure you're paying attention to that kind of stuff. Have you experienced any of these problems with beginner language apps? Let me know in the comment section below. The fourth tip on how to choose a beginner language app is to be aware of what kind of words that you want to be learning. Obviously, there are like literally a million words in any given language, but you don't need most of them. People don't tend to use most of them. If you just want to have conversations, you just need to have the first like 1,000 to 2,000 vocabulary words in any given language. So it's easy enough to use something like Memrise, which has these lists that are like made by Memrise themselves. These words will be like the verbs to be, to want, to go, to think, house, dog, pronouns, he, she, they, whatever, that kind of garden variety vocabulary. And if you want something with like some categories, that's easy too. You can use things like Linguist for that, or you can use Mondly again. It can be really overwhelming to like pick and choose which words are important to you. Make sure they're important to you. I've definitely wasted a lot of time trying to force myself to learn words that didn't actually matter to me. There's no reason for me to need the word roller coaster in Spanish, and yet I spent months learning that word. Don't do that. Choose an app that will teach you the words that are important to you. If it's making you learn stuff that you don't want to learn, don't use it. And my last tip for how to choose a beginner language app is to make sure that it's aligned with your goals. It's aligned with what you want to accomplish. Is it a logical stepping stone between where you are now and where you want to be? Is it teaching you things that you actually want to use in the language? Is it teaching things that are interesting to you and you find a lot of value in? Honestly, this is one of the hardest parts about learning languages, which is why I have an entire month dedicated to teaching my clients this. As part of my 90-day coaching program, 30 of those days are focused on what exactly it is that you want to learn. If you want to learn more about how my program can help you to understand what it is that you want to learn in the language and how you want to learn it, click the link below in the description to learn more. If you like this video, I recommend watching these videos next. Otherwise, have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Recommendation.